Would it mean that I could catch this fly if I could fall 1,000 pieces? I would just need you tonight.
Tonight. Maybe we'll have like a spill the tea episode or not, because like, you know, why do we need to do that? We don't need to do that. If you guys want to ask us questions,
this is not
then,
1776.
Yeah. What?
Spill the tea. Boston Tea Party.
Is that when they had the Boston Tea Party?
I don't know. I was thinking about
I'm trying to think of when. Whatever. We don't know this shit. Anyway, let's not pretend like we do. Hi. How are you? You're tired.
Good. How
You're
are
hot.
you? I'm hot. I'm tired. But we had such a good weekend. So
That's good.
You know. Yeah.
Did you get Friday off?
No.
Oh, really? You guys have like random appreciation days at your job, but you did not get Friday off for like a family day.
Correct.
Wow. I'm surprised. Okay, whatever. Let's
People
celebrate National Hamburger Day, but and make crafts and stuff, but we're not going to give the Friday off anyway. Yeah, I guess people commit crimes all the time. Whatever.
Yeah.
You people suck, whoever commits crimes.
But thank you for committing crimes. Thank you for committing crimes so that we have something to talk about, and I have a job.
And Amy has a job. Yes.
Yep.
Then life would be dull, you know.
You know, it is what it is.
We were out on the boat basically all weekend, and we saw dolphins 6 times today.
How fun! Yeah. I love that. So nice. With how much you're spending out in the sun, you're not getting a whole lot of sun.
Well, I wear a hat. I wear a baseball cap the entire day because I don't like my face getting very. My back, my arms are getting very tan.
Okay.
I got pretty crispy on Friday. We had to take a break on Saturday because we all got pretty crispy on that day. We forgot to do a third application because we were out there for like 8 hours, 9 hours.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I hope everyone else had a good weekend too.
Yeah.
Sounds like Bree and I just spent a lot of time out in the sun. Yeah.
Yeah. We did.
Yeah. So I have a question for you.
All right.
So, where would your dream destination to live be? Have I already asked you that?
I think so. Maybe you may have.
Like some people want to live in the tropical area or the mountains. Where would you be like? I want to live there.
You know, I don't know. Like maybe I do. I wouldn't mind living kind of in the country. Not in the mountains, but like close enough to where like there's still city. Like maybe like, I don't know. We live like 20, 30 minutes from the city right now. So that's kind of nice, but this is not my dream place. I don't know. I like being close to the beach. But not too close to where like I have to worry about hurricanes and flooding and stuff like that, which I still have to worry about hurricanes and flooding. But you know, do you need like an exact place or like an idea of like
an idea
kind of place?
Yeah. Okay. Just an idea.
Then yeah, I'd say like kind of out in the country.
Okay.
A little bit, not too far from the city, but far enough to where I can see the stars. And not in the mountains. I don't want to live in the mountains.
No, I don't want to live in the mountains either.
I don't really care about the mountains. Like they're pretty and everything to look at, but you know, I don't know. I'd rather live close to the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess out in the country.
I want it all. I just kind of like you. No. I want to be able to. I don't like, want to live somewhere. Yeah. I don't want somewhere tropical. That sounds hot. Yeah. And lots of bugs. I think I want somewhere where like it's like a decent drive or like a short drive to the ocean, because we're gonna have someday we're gonna have an ocean boat like you, and then I want to be able to like see the mountains, but I don't want to live in them. I want to have driving distance to town. Like you go into town like 30 minutes to go grocery shopping, but I don't want like neighbors.
Yeah.
But I also want 4 seasons.
I don't want neighbors either, but also I do want neighbors. I hear about like people like my sister. They have like this whole like their whole neighborhood are all buds. Their whole cul-de-sac. They all got together and they had like this giant like huge cul-de-sac party. Like I actually would kind of love that, but at the same time, I know I have lived close to neighbors, and I do know that it was a little bit the privacy thing I missed. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I want it, but I don't want it.
Yeah. I don't think I want neighbors. Maybe like close enough, like, hey, the dog got out. So if you see him, like send him home, you know, like that sort of thing. But I don't want like someone up in my business, you know?
Yeah. Like, oh my God, you ordered Instacart at like 10 o'clock at night? Is that fair?
Yeah.
None of your business, Karen.
Yeah, Karen. I want 4 seasons for sure, wherever my destination is. In my dream world, I want summer,
Sounds
spring,
like North Carolina.
fall, winter.
Because North Carolina is not far from the mountains. You can get mountains, but also you can get beach in certain areas. It's I will say it's not like Emerald Coast beaches here, like the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
But and then you can have country.
But it's also very expensive there. We've looked.
It is. It really is. My brother said it's stupid expensive to live there.
Ugh. Who's going first this week?
You can go first. I think I went first last week.
Okay.
Yeah, because I looked for my neighborhood story second. So I will tell you my neighborhood story.
Oh, okay.
And I have it prepared this week. So I got a couple of them. All right, so mine is a screenshot of a text between neighbors, and it starts out with a it looks like a Jack Russell dog peeing on someone's fire pit in their backyard. And it says, "Hey, is this your dog?" The response says, "Yes." Well, he's been pooping by our patio for months, and now I guess he's peeing on our stuff and charging at our cat.
Oh,
no. The person responds, "Unfortunately, I can't keep dogs from their neighbor. I'll try, but IDK. My nature is to walk over and smack the shit out of you. But look at me, over here, keeping myself in my area. See how that works?"
Oh.
And that's it. Fair.
You know, yeah.
I don't blame them.
I don't blame either side.
Yeah,
because like you can't keep your dog from going to the bathroom,
but you can keep your dog from going into someone's. It looks like a gated fence somehow, but like you could keep your dog from going into someone else's yard.
Yes, you
or
100%
just in their yard.
Can. Yeah.
So
you can
get your shit together and quit letting your dog poop and pee in someone else's yard. Josh,
that's disrespectful. Yeah, we've done that. So
he gets mad at our own dogs for peeing and pooping in our yard. So
you guys, Bree has to have her dogs go to the bathroom in their toilet inside the house because Josh refuses. Yeah, Josh refuses to let them pee and poop. Yep.
Have you seen Bruce Almighty where he trained the dog to go to the bathroom on the toilet? You just picture Macy and Dakota.
They actually have to wear diapers.
Yeah.
Bree changes their diapers. She has a job.
I have a 6 and a 4-year-old, and I'm still buying diapers.
Okay. So my story this week is actually a listener request. Ooh. One of our listeners asked if we have covered the story, and I had not. So, and I'm actually really thankful that Ryan was his name. Ryan brought this to our attention, or my attention.
You, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. I've never heard this story before. It is absolutely wild, and it is an unsolved story. Unsolved.
Oh, I saw crime. When he requested this one.
Yeah. So
I didn't look into it, but I I now that you say his name. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to share it. And later I will go, I didn't write any of the theories down, but I will kind of go over some of the theories that people have had, because after I wrote my story, I then listened to a couple podcasts and then just never had time to write it down. So I'm going to be pulling those straight from my noggin. Okay. So, Brian Shaffer was born on February 25th, 1979. He grew up in Pickerington, Ohio, outside of Columbus, which is outside of Columbus, Ohio. He was oldest son to Randy and Renee Shaffer. Once he graduated from high school in 1997, he went off to Ohio State University. He graduated there with a degree in microbiology after 6 years of hard work. Then he went to study medicine at the same university in 2004. During his second year, on March 6, 2006, his mother unfortunately passed away to a rare type of blood cancer. This had a major impact on Brian. His friends and family said although he appeared to be handling it well, they didn't, or although he said he was handling it well, they're like, we don't think he's handling this well. Because he was so incredibly close to his mother, and it was unclear even to Alexis, who is his girlfriend, if Brian was serious or not. But after his mother's death, Alexis, he told Alexis that she should run away with him, and she was like, "Oh, no, I don't know if you're being serious or not," but she didn't like that. And then a few days later, Brian told Alexis she should find someone else to be with, and she refused, so they stayed together. It was noted that Brian was in a super dark place in his life at that time, and so a lot of it was understanding, like, his thoughts are not clear and he's not thinking right.
Right.
And so Alexis, the one that I told you, they got together his second year in med school. Her name is Alexis Wagner.
Okay.
Wagner. And everyone thought Brian was going to propose to her when they were going to go on this trip to Miami. They had this trip planned for spring break in April. They're like, oh my gosh, that's like his favorite place. He loves the tropical area. Like, he's going to propose. So medicine may have been the career choice for Brian, but his dream was to live on a tropical island, start a band, and listen to Jimmy Buffett all day long with the love of his life while drinking margaritas.
Oh my God, Brian, you are my spirit animal. Okay, I changed my goal. This is what I also want to do. Wasting away again, a margarita. Sorry.
So
I love me some Jimmy Buffett.
On May 31st, 2006, which was a Friday, classes at the university ended for spring break. Brian and his father, Randy, celebrated the occasion by having a good steak dinner early in the evening. Brian seemed exhausted from pulling all-nighters and cramming for the exams. But he had plans to go out bar hopping with a friend named William Clint Florence. And Brian said was like, that's not a good idea. Like, you've been pulling all-nighters. You're really tired. You should just rest. And he was like, no, Dad, I'm going out. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going out with William Clint.
William Clint. So Brian sounds what?
Sounds like a really rich name.
It really does, huh? So Brian also invited his younger brother and his younger brother's girlfriend, Maureen, to join them bar hopping after the comedy show that they were going to go watch that night. But the show ended up running late and they ended up just going home instead. So they never went bar hopping with Brian. At 9 p.m., the two men, Brian and Clint, go out bar hopping. The first bar that they go to is called the Ugly Tuna Saloona. It is a hole-in-the-wall type of bar, but it was popular in the college town. The location was like, I had a hard time like trying to describe this bar. So the location of the bar is a bit off. And so I tried to do some Google mapping of it, but it has since relocated. So everything is like showing me the new location of it. But it was reported to be along some sort of like campus strip, like a campus buildings. And it was like along that strip. And then maybe like a coffee shop, like a campus coffee shop, and like an admin type of building or something was like along it. And then these are like buildings, and they're like modern for that time, like very business looking structure. And then there's just this bar, and it's like a
Sounds
different
like a
color.
downtown looking area.
Yeah, very downtown. But then this bar is just like boom, like bricks along it,
Out of
and I
place.
don't, it very out of place. It was like, and there's like obnoxious signs, and then like the next store is just like, come get your studies done. So the Ugly Tuna had a few entrances. All of them had security cameras. There was the front doors. So you go in, and immediately you're going up an escalator to the top floor. And there was also, I don't know if there was like something.
Sounds like a really bad idea to have an escalator in a bar.
I know. I don't know why, but whatever. So there's an escalator.
I'm going with it.
And then there's also the employee entrance, but everything had cameras on it. So Clint and Brian started there. About 10 p.m., Brian calls his girlfriend. She went back home to Toledo to visit family real quick before she goes on her trip with Brian to Miami. So he calls her, and they're like, talking. And then they went to a few different bars doing shots at every bar. Like they were doing like a bar crawl. They meet with one of Clint's friends, Meredith Reed, at the bar that was called the Short North. They met her there at midnight. Meredith gave the two men a ride back to the Ugly Tuna at 1:15 p.m. And you see them go up the escalators on the camera. At 1:50 p.m., Brian was seen on security footage standing at the top of the escalators with two security guards there. The security guards were wearing a black and white uniform with a cute little police officer hat. The guards seemed pretty relaxed. One was leaning up against the railing with his hands in his pocket. The other was standing with his hands in the pocket, just watching people go up and down the escalator. Brian was talking to two girls, and they end up leaving the area, like out of camera view. And then Brian also goes off the camera, and it looks like he's heading back into the like actual bar. During that time, Clint and Meredith cannot locate Brian to head home. Clint attempts calling Brian's cell phone, no answer. They check the bathrooms, they go outside, they can't find him. They eventually are seen on camera leaving with the rest of the crowd at 2 a.m. as the bar closed. And they wait outside for Brian, but he never left the building. So they're like, okay, well, maybe he went home, The security cameras do not show him exit any of the exits. Brian and Meredith assume Brian had left on his own accord because he wasn't with the rest of that crowd. The next day, Meredith drove Clint to pick up his vehicle from Brian's apartment building, but they did not go into Brian's apartment. Alexis tried to call Brian, but it went straight to voicemail. Assuming he was sleeping off a hangover, she let it go, but when she continued to call throughout the day and it was still going to voicemail, she started to get worried. Brian's dad and his girlfriend both tried to get a hold of him the rest of the weekend, but they never got an answer. Brian's dad ended up going to the apartment. There, he found Brian's car, a made bed, medical books stacked neatly. Everything was there. Like, it didn't look like his house was robbed or anything. So Sunday goes by, and then Monday morning, Brian misses his flight to Miami. Do you think that she waited for him at the hotel, at the airport, or do you think she flew to Miami?
Oh, I mean, this sounds like they were close. I personally would think that she would go wait for him at the airport.
I would think so too. Yeah. This trip was not only special because everyone had suspicion Brian was going to propose, but it was a gift from his mother to the couple that she had given him before she passed away. His mother loved and adored Alexis and encouraged Brian to propose to her. So, like, this trip was a big deal. Brian was reported missing to the Columbus police. So that night when Brian, William, Clint, and Meredith went to the Ugly Tuna, that was the last time anyone reportedly saw Brian alive. During the first few days of Brian's investigation, nearly 50 cops were searching for Brian. Everyone they could think of was interviewed. Clint claimed he last saw Brian inside the bar after taking a shot, but eventually lost him. Meredith and Clint were both asked to take a polygraph test. Meredith agreed, but Clint refused. And I agree with both. You know, you don't take it, you look suspicious. You do take it and you fail because you're anxious, you look suspicious.
Right.
So,
right. They're not accurate.
Yeah. So, okay. So Clint lawyered up. Police checked hospitals, homeless shelters, dumpsters, everything. Cadaver dogs were used to search for his body. Banks were searched along the river. Brian had vanished into thin air. What is crazy is at this time, this town was like the most dialed in city in Ohio. It had the most security cameras of all the state, and he wasn't on any of them. Like, they checked the neighboring businesses, nobody, not a single person caught him on camera.
So it had to be at this bar.
He has to still be at the bar, right? So,
and the bar you said has security cameras.
The bar had he was not seen leaving the bar at all. All the security footage in the town around the town were poured over, like I said. Even the cameras at the Stinky Tuna somehow missed him. There were cameras at nearby, or I just told you that he wasn't picked up by any of the cameras. So the other places that they checked that had cameras, it's not relevant, but I thought the names were hilarious. The places that they checked were the Sloppy Donkey, the Mad Mex, and Lucky Stout House.
It's a college town.
Yeah, but there was nothing. Everyone was accounted for that night at the bar besides Brian. Like, flyers were made and a website was created in hopes that someone had seen him or if they knew what happened. Various tips came in. Someone said he was murdered, or, people were saying that he was seen in Atlanta and even Sweden. Others believed that he ran away, but all those tips went cold. Randy and Derek and Alexis, his dad, brother, and his girlfriend, didn't stop their own investigations. Randy, his dad, even hired psychics to see if he could find out what happened to Brian.
Wow.
And those told him that they could find Brian along the river. But they searched the riverbanks. They searched it. They couldn't find him. It was all dead ends. Derek and Alexis both would call Brian's cell phone like randomly. And it would always go straight to voicemail. But one night in September 2006, Alexis called Brian's cell phone, and instead of it going straight to voicemail, it rang 3 times. Then it went to voicemail.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that weird?
Like it was no longer on. Like it was on again, and it just got ignored.
Basically, that's what it seems like, right?
Right.
So the GPS for his cell phone was not turned on, so they could only ping to the nearest tower that the call came in from, which led them to a cell phone tower in Hillard, which is 14 miles northwest of Columbus. Unfortunately, the cell phone provider claimed that it must have been a computer glitch, which is so weird.
Yeah.
Like,
especially like a computer glitch on a missing person.
Yeah. That's kind of funky.
That's some computer glitch. That's some coincidence.
Yeah. In May, a few months later, someone broke into Brian's apartment. However, it was determined that it was unrelated to Brian going missing. 2 years later, authorities still had no clue what happened to Brian, and Crime Stopper offered a $25,000 reward for any information on Brian's disappearance. That same year, Randy, Brian's dad, passed away on his way to work in a freak accident, which is insane. So this poor brother, his Derek,
brother,
in 2 years lost his mother, his brother, and his father. And so now he's the only remaining family member of the Shaffers. So days after Randy passed, Columbus posted his obituary online, and family members, friends, and colleagues all commented on it. But one message stood out, and it said, "Dad, I love you. Love, Brian." And then in parentheses, it says U.S. Virgin Islands.
Whoa. I just get goosebumps.
Yeah,
What?
I know. So this could be Brian living.
Someone faking it.
Yeah, so this could be Brian living out his dream, but Columbus authorities traced the IP address to a public computer located in Franklin County, just 9 minutes north of Columbus. So is it a fake joke? Probably. Or a fake joke, a sick joke?
Especially with how like big it got, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah. So in 2018, so quite a few years later, the Ugly Tuna closed their doors and relocated, and now it's called the Ugly Tuna 2. And which is classic. Just keep it the Original. Ugly Tuna. Yeah. So in 2020, a photo of a homeless man asleep in Tijuana, Mexico, started making its round online. The photo showed of a man sitting on a sidewalk, leaning up against a chain link fence. His knees are propped up and his arm is slung over his head like this. And his head is down. Or was his head down? His head was not down. His head was up.
It's like Rose, where Jack was painting her.
Yes, except for this was a homeless man and he was in Tijuana and not naked. So the image was sent to the Columbus Missing Person Unit, and then it was forwarded over to the FBI for verification because everyone said it looked just like Brian. The FBI used facial recognition software to determine if it was him or not, and it came back as negative. It was not Brian. The following year, 15 years after Brian's disappearance, the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation and the Columbus Division of Police released an age progression image of Brian of what he would look like at this time. So in 2021, he would be 42. To this day, no one knows where Brian is. The theories of disappearance include running away to get away from the pains of his life, killing himself, foul play. Although all of these theories have been debunked, foul play would have meant the killer would have had done an excellent job at cleaning up behind themselves, which did not seem like a leading factor considering he did not have anything to offer to anyone with such high skills. Killing himself is a possibility, but he had plans to be with his girlfriend, which would have meant a quick change of heart, and it is very likely that we would have found his body by now.
Right.
If Brian wanted to run away, he didn't use any of the money that he had to purchase a ticket anywhere. He didn't touch his debit card or his credit cards. His name is not recorded on any transportation logs, such as trains or buses or flights. Nothing was packed of his, and he left everything behind. What mostly happened, Derek's brother believes that he has passed away. There is an elevator and a stairway that leads to the Ugly Tuna entrance, and Brian could have taken those paths to get to leave, but somehow wandered off without getting caught on any of the surrounding area's cameras. That is the more logical theory. Like, he wandered off, somehow didn't get caught by the cameras, and somehow passed away, but they haven't been able to find his body. It is wild that his body has not been found, even with the cadaver dogs looking for him, because they follow scents. But the nearby businesses would leave their back doors open at night when they're closing up, like to go in and out. And Brian could have like wandered in through a back entrance and through a front entrance, and the camera just happened to be, not facing that way at that very time. So he could have, and it could have just been coincidence, not on purpose.
Right.
The award for information leading to Brian Shaffer has increased to $100,000. So if you or anyone you know knows about Brian Shaffer's disappearance, you can call 614-461-8477 or go to centralohiocrimestoppers.com. And so here are some of the theories that I was telling you that I heard about. So have you heard of back doors? It's like a paranormal phenomenon type of thing.
Like a portal.
Yeah, like a portal. So you think that you're like going in through just a normal door, but it's not. And then it takes you to, and it takes you to like a different dimension. And all the clocks are wrong. Like all the times are wrong. And so the only way to get back is to try to go through that same door at that same exact time. But you have to know what time it is because all the clocks are wrong. I'm not positive on that, but there's that theory. Then there is the theory that maybe he somehow passed away or got stuck somewhere in between like two walls in the ugly Tuna. Like maybe they were like working on construction or something. I don't know if they were. And he like got stuck in between two walls or behind something, and the sound of like the bar was too loud to hear his screaming, and he passed away that way. Or maybe he like got alcohol poisoning and was stuck behind something.
Okay.
And like fell asleep but never woke up. There was construction going on in the behind the bar, like road work. And there was a theory that like maybe he got stuck in some of that road work, like wet cement or something like that, or he got stuck in like one of the scaffoldings. Yeah. Maybe he got stuck in something like that, but the construction crew would have found him the next day. Then there was the theory that he was abducted by aliens. And honestly, that one checks out because
it's not that far-fetched.
It's not, and it would explain why you can't find his body.
Yeah, and how he disappeared without a trace.
Yeah. So, I don't know. There's quite a few theories. Nobody knows where he is, and it's really sad.
Yeah, that is really sad. What do you think?
I don't know what I think. I like the theory of the aliens because it's harmless.
Right. Yeah.
So, that's what do you think?
I don't know. I think that I think that he went away. I think he's gone somewhere. I think he left, and like he could have been happy, but at the same time, people can fake things, and he could have like had cash that no one knew about, and he could have made. What if he traded like clothes with like a drunk person or something, or like someone who
there was that theory. That was. Or are you talking about outside of the bar?
No, like inside of like what if there was someone in the bar who was like super drunk?
They did do that. So all of the bodies were accounted for but him. So everyone is on the camera arriving in the same clothes and leaving in the same clothes except for Brian.
Okay. So he didn't trade clothes with someone. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But what if
I
there
don't
was
know.
an employee room in the back? Well, I guess one of them would have said, like, hey, I'm missing my whole entire outfit that I brought to change into. So, okay,
Yeah.
never mind. I was going to say, what if he stole clothes from someone back there or something? Or what if he took an employee shirt that was like an extra one in the back or something? You never know.
He could have. But then there would be one extra employee accounted for.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Dang, that's crazy. Man, the missing persons one's always like, they always stick in my head.
I
Like that one
know.
girl who was running in the who was the runner. That one has stuck with me. Can't
Oh,
remember her name,
yeah.
but yeah, she was running and then she's like been missing ever since, and we don't know if it was her husband or I think it was her husband, but I don't know.
I think
Whew,
it was her husband too.
that was
Yeah.
a that was a good
So
one.
thank you, Ryan, for requesting this submission. I enjoyed researching it, and hopefully what I learned and then told our listeners, someone else can help Brian and
Yeah.
get some closure for Derek.
If you guys have heard this story before, tell us what your theories are, or just tell us what your theories are after hearing this. So I'm curious.
Yeah. I'm very
That's
curious too.
sad but fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating
Yeah.
because like how does something like that go unseen? That's just crazy.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
Tell me your story.
I've got a pretty cool one for you.
Okay.
I am doing the Biltmore estate in Ashville, North Carolina.
Ashville, North
I know.
Carolina.
When I tell you it doesn't sound that big of a deal, but look it up. It looks like the freaking Buckingham Palace. This place is great.
What is it called?
Biltmore Estate. I want to go there during Christmas.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
It is gorgeous. Do you see it?
This is here in our United States of America?
In our United States of America? Yes, it is. We are capable of making cool things, apparently.
You can have weddings here.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things there. It's beautiful. There's a winery there. Okay, so let's talk about this place. First off, in the 1880s, George Washington Vanderbilt, not George Washington, George Washington Vanderbilt. They're like, hey, let's name our son after our founding fathers. Cool. George Washington Vanderbilt II, which apparently they named two people in the family that. He was a good devoted son. Come on, guys, you're getting me confused with the president. This guy was a sweet, devoted son. He visited his mommy, Maria Louisa Kissam Vanderbilt, who lived in Asheville all the time. He liked the area so much that he decided to build himself a summer home. Okay.
Oh, that's a summer home?
Summer fucking home. Yes. So,
okay.
In the area, which he called his Little Mountain Escape. The land eventually...
Little Mountain Escape?
Yeah. Why are we using the word little? Shut up. The land eventually consisted of 125,000 acres, which included over 50 farms and at least 5 cemeteries. Construction of the home began in 1889. It was such a large project that a woodworking factory and a brick kiln were built on site because of how much stuff it required. Also, a 3-mile railroad was constructed to bring more materials to the site.
What?
Construction on the home required the labor of about 1,000 workers and 60 stonemasons.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, he had to have the most fancy shit, so he would often take trips overseas to purchase decor from different places, including tapestries, hundreds of carpets, prints, linens, decor dating from the 15th century to the late 19th century.
Wow.
The home costed around a whopping $5 million to construct, which would be over $183 million today. Which honestly, I was expecting a bigger number. But
I was expecting more too.
It's fine. Okay, so it took a total of 6 years to complete, and basically the entire community helped build this place.
Why?
I guess just because of all the laborers that he used, there were probably like the entire town working there. He probably like employed all of the town.
Yeah, that's
That's my
true.
guess. That
For
would be
some
my
reason,
guess.
when you first said that, I thought people were just like volunteering to help.
Like,
I'm like,
oh, hey,
what?
let's help the rich people. Cool. This rich guy, maybe he'll let us like have a pool party or something. There is a pool. I will get to that. Okay. So it to build. Oh, I went over that. When completed, it had more than 4 acres of floor space. 4 acres of floor space. Four
Oh my
acres.
God. 4 acres.
Just of the house.
Oh
Just
my
of the
gosh.
house.
What?
It included 35 bedrooms, 43 bathrooms. Do you know how long it would take to go poop in all of these bathrooms? Which, if I had 43 bathrooms, I would have to poop in every single one of them just so I could write a Yelp review on every single bathroom. Be like,
you would have
nah,
to.
bro, toilet paper in this one needs to be upgraded. Go in bathroom on floor number 3, please, in the West Wing. It also had 65 fireplaces and a pool in the basement. So about the pool, it was dug super deep. I guess it was dug too deep. It could hold over 70,000 gallons of water. It had a heating system. I'm pretty sure that's a shit ton. From the pictures, it looked stupid deep. It had a heating system and lights, but there was no filtration system, so it had to be drained and refilled every few days.
What?
What a bitch to have to freaking drain and refill. And it's in the basement. Like, how do you drain this pool that is in the basement?
Is there a window?
Where does the water go? Like, if there's no filtration system, like, how...
Is that why we have so many droughts? Because of this one... he actually caused global warming.
Thanks a lot, George Washington. Vanderbilt the second.
What the heck?
Also, rumor has it a child actually drowned in the pool, but there's no evidence of it, so I don't know. Anyways, let's skip over that. The estate was open to family and friends on Christmas Eve in 1895. Famous guests at the estate, including... Hold on. Pretend like you know all of these people, okay?
Okay.
Famous guests at the estate included novelist Edith Wharton.
Not
Henry James.
Oh,
Wait till I get to the next one. Ambassadors Joseph Hodges Choate and Lars Anderson were also there.
I know. They are the greatest ambassadors.
Dude, Choate was there.
Choate?
Choate. But also...
The Choate.
The Choate. My man. And also U.S. presidents. I don't know which ones, but, in that time frame, we're just...
Probably Teddy Roosevelt.
Probably Teddy. Teddy probably hung out there. Definitely not the regular George Washington.
No.
He's dead.
Would he be dead?
1895. I'm not.
Yeah, he would be. That's over 100 years. Because America was founded in 1776. So let's say George was like in his... If George was like 40 when...
Probably like 60.
Probably. Yeah, he would definitely be dead.
Yeah, he would definitely be dead. He's dead. Okay, cool. So we can safely say that the original OG George W. is dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so anyway, George II, the guy that we're talking about now, Mr. Vanderbilt, married an Edith Stuyvesant Dresser in Paris, France in 1898, and they had a daughter, Cornelia Stuyvesant Vanderbilt, who was actually born at the Biltmore in the the XV room. I can't figure out those numbers right now at this moment. Is that 15?
Isn't that 5?
Is that X is 10 and V is 5. Is that 15? I don't know. Lewis, the 15th room in 1900. And she was born in 1900 and she grew up on the estate. So, with taxes and maintenance expenses.
It is 15.
Okay, thank you. With taxes and maintenance
You're welcome.
expenses, the family decided to sell 87,000 acres to the government. We'll just cough up a couple acres. It's fine. We've got 100 something more to spare.
85,000 acres?
87,000. Yes. And remember,
87,000.
This place started out at 125,000, so we're just selling 87,000. It's fine. We can afford to.
That really doesn't leave them a whole lot, to be honest.
No, but what are they going to do with all that? Like, what do they need to do? Honestly. So, yeah.
All right.
It's fine. It went to a good cause. So,
yeah, I guess. The government, that's not a good cause, Brie. Let's be real.
True. So, before they could sell, Mr. Vanderbilt unexpectedly did pass due to complications during an appendectomy. But the sale was completed after his death, and the property the sale was completed after his death of the property for less than $5 an acre, making it a part. But those 87,000 acres, I believe, were a part of the first national forest, just east of the Mississippi River. So that is kind of cool.
That's cool.
A national forest, not just the government, but like a pretty important place that's constantly like watched over and
preserved.
Yes, thank you. All right. So Edith did remarry in 1925 to a U.S. senator named Peter Golet Gary.
Real quick.
Yeah.
They bought it for $5 an acre.
An acre, and there's 87,000. Did you do the math? Please
That's
tell me you did.
$435,000. That's like how much a home is for 87,000.
Damn, that is a steal.
That is
That's a lot of land.
Yeah, that's a lot
of money.
That is a lot of money.
I think you can get. I feel like you could probably get land for cheaper than that because there's no house on it. I don't know.
Nowadays,
400,000. I don't know.
For 87,000 acres.
Yeah, you're right.
So like here we are looking at places for like 2 to 4 acres with no hookups. We're still looking at like 200,000.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
It's cheaper here. You can find them under 100 here.
What?
Yes. Look for land in Florida, please.
Okay.
Anyway. So, Edith did remarry in 1925 to a U.S. senator named Peter Golet Gary. It's not super relevant, but it did bring it up at some point, so I felt like I needed to throw it in the timeline. Also, Cornelia Vanderbilt, all grown up, marries a John Francis Amherst, Cecil. And that name, Amherst and Cecil, like 2 paranormal stuff right there. I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Together they had 2 boys, both born in the same room as Cornelia at the Biltmore. In 1930, Cornelia and John opened the home to the public to increase tourism during the Depression, and it was to generate income to preserve the estate. In 1942, during World War II, the Biltmore was a safe house for famous artwork from the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. In 1958, Edith Vanderbilt passed in the Biltmore estate. And in 1963, the Biltmore was made a national landmark, and it's still in the Vanderbilt family and open to the public. So I just wanted to give you that brief little timeline there. It's still owned by the family today, but let's get into the paranormal.
Hold on.
Yeah.
One more thing. $435,000 in today's 1896 money is $16,264,287.50.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
That sounds like a Powerball. Right there.
Well, the 50 cents, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Right down to the 50
Okay.
cents.
Okay,
All right.
sorry. I want to hear about the paranormal.
You're good. All right, so this one isn't necessarily paranormal, but borderline creepy. In the place, because now, like I said, it's open to the public. There's a whole room full of headless mannequins dressed in period clothing.
Why?
Like, I feel like if you walk by that room, it's like, who's that? It's like you walk by
Why
it, it like
headless?
scares. Yeah, right. I don't know. I don't know which would be creepier because I kind of feel like the also like having the heads would also be creepy because it almost looks too much like a person. I don't know. It's just a
Yeah,
little
that
creepy.
makes me think of, in department stores when they have the mannequins dressed up in clothes, but they don't have heads.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what it makes me
Yeah.
think of.
It's creepy.
I don't like
All
it.
right. So visitors and staff have claimed to have seen Edith Vanderbilt wandering the halls, whispering, "George," possibly searching for her husband. George George has also been spotted in his library browsing his collection and reading. You can
Edith, the George is in the
this
bathroom in the
he's
office
in the library. He's in the
in the
library. He's
library.
in the library. Um George has been spotted. Wait, I already said that. Visitors have reported seeing spirits going up and down the stairs. Also, when people go up and down the stairs, it's very common to feel uneasy and scared. I'm wondering if something happened on the stairs that was never told in
Reported,
history. I don't know.
maybe.
But that was a really big one. In the basement of the mansion, you can find the servants' quarters, the kitchen, the gym, and the pool, where visitors have reported seeing staff preparing meals in the kitchen. In the pool area,
Oh,
where there was supposedly the drowning, it's common to feel uneasy.
okay.
There's an old forestry compound on the property that was once the Biltmore Forestry School. It
Uh
was the
huh.
site of a sex worker's murder. So I couldn't find too much on this, but apparently
Oh.
the sex worker was murdered there. And the source claimed that she, along with others, were executed by hanging inside the building there. And
Gosh.
they haunt the halls there of the compound.
Oh, I
Yeah,
hate
I
that.
know. Another story involves a young boy who haunts the gardens of the estate. Visitors have reported seeing the ghost of a boy playing in the gardens. Some have even claimed to hear him laughing. It's believed
Okay.
he could be a victim of a tragic accident on the estate, but no one actually knows. Maybe he's the
Right.
one who drowned. There is a
Oh,
woman
poor
in a
baby.
pink There's a woman in a pink dress that people have reported seeing walking through the halls and sitting in one of the rooms. Some say she may be George's mistress who died in a nearby hospital. Again, I
Oh,
didn't get more information on him having a mistress, but everything was hush hush back then, and the wives are like, I'll just, look the other way. It's fine.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got money. People have reported hearing laughter and party like chattering. They've also heard glasses clinking, sounds of footsteps, strange smells such as fresh cigar burning, cold spots, items moving, being knocked over, thrown, disembodied voices, feelings of unease, especially like being followed or watched. Lastly, guests have reported seeing hang on, Tony, you're right there. Guests have reported seeing a headless orange cat roaming the garden area. No one
He
knows who
came
this
just in
cat.
time.
Yes, he did. No one knows who this cat is belonged to. No one's ever heard of the family ever having a cat. I know they've had dogs, but no one's ever said anything about a cat.
Maybe it was like a barn cat type of
Maybe.
it, like the cat adopted the family.
Yeah.
I love
Um
that.
So, yes, I decided to save that one for last for you. I have some
Thank you.
Yelp I'm Scared reviews, and by Yelp I'm Scared,
Yeah.
I mean I have some Reddit reviews because I couldn't find too many Yelp reviews. So this first one is from a Reddit user, Frox Trousers. Nice.
Fox trousers.
I worked in the outlets a few years immediately after they renovated the ice cream parlor and had weird stuff happen for a while. The people who worked in the cafe next door had a lot of stories too, feeling like they were being watched. things moving. Most of what I experienced were hearing voices and the napkin trays being knocked on the ground. Even had one get thrown halfway across a parlor when I was talking about the minor activity we had had.
Jeez.
Another user named Hotspot Security Guard said, "So,
Okay.
my mom and uncle used to work there as cleaners. My mom never had any issues, but my uncle said he would see some creepy stuff sometimes. He told my mom that once he was cleaning at night around 3 a.m., and there was a Coke bottle on the table that randomly fell over and started spinning in circles very fast. There
Oh.
were no windows open or any reason for it to do that. There were other things that happened which made him quit, but I don't remember. This was like 10 years ago." And the last one I
Okay.
have is, hands down, the Biltmore estate gave me, and even a decade later, still gives me an extreme eerie vibe. I simply cannot describe and will not forget that feeling. It sticks with me. I feel there has been a lot of sadness, torture, loneliness, anguish, hunger, and death. I felt the worst of it where the large empty pool is on the lower levels. It's such a beautiful place. However, when I felt that rush of horror on my first visit, it took my breath away.
Wow.
And as of today, the Biltmore estate, as I said before, is still open to the public. They do tours for the public, talking about the history, and they also do ghost tours, paranormal tours, and they also have a winery on site. And I believe you can stay there as well.
Yeah. So when you asked me to look at the picture, I went to the website and you can stay there. They have like other places you can stay on property. Like they have cottages
Mm-hmm.
and some other sort of type of hotel on the estate, or you can stay inside the estate.
Pretty.
Yeah. And I mean, I learned that real quick just from looking at the website to see if they had more inside pictures. And then you can do weddings.
Yep.
That's all
And
I saw.
weddings. And it's beautiful Christmas. Everyone says it's beautiful Christmas. And to go during the
I want to
holidays, and
go
you get like a
there.
really good holiday, like they do a really good holiday show for everybody.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
I love that.
And
I
that was
want
the
to go
Biltmore
there.
Estate in Ashville, North Carolina.
I'm wondering if the lady that said that she got like a deep sense of dread when she went by the pool, if it was from that boy that drowned.
I don't know. A lot of people talked about the pool being a really tough place to be around.
Yeah. I wonder if that's why.
Is that your
That's
child?
sad. Yeah, can you hear her?
Yeah. What is she doing?
Alice, lower your voice. Playing her game. I'm in the living room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's too hot to be in my bedroom right now.
True. True, true, true. You're good.
Okay. That was a good one. Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome. Yours is good
Um,
too.
so I have a next door snippet. So I wanted to do this one because we recently had the 4th of July, and it doesn't have to do with 4th of July, but it kind of does. So
Okay.
Lisa Blank, because the name is redacted, it says Flag Day with the flag emoji. Tomorrow is Flag Day, so don't forget to put out your American flag with the flag emoji. MAGA, which is Make America Great Again. And that was from Lisa. And Kate replied, and she said, "Go fuck yourself, Linda."
Wow. Wow. Linda's just trying to be patriotic, man.
Her name
And
isn't Linda. Her name
oh
is
wait.
Lisa.
Oh. Wow. Who's
So,
Linda?
Kate, who are you talking to?
Kate.
If you meant Lisa, the name's right there. Maybe she did it on purpose.
What does Trump say about the news? Something
Fake news.
fake news. Fake Linda.
True.
Linda.
Linda.
Kate. Fake news. That's
Fake
funny.
news, Kate.
I didn't know that's what MAGA stands for. Wow.
Make America Great Again. Yeah.
I did not realize that. Now I know.
Oh, now you know.
Now I know.
So We're gonna get. Okay, have you checked on the neighbors?
What's with the neighbors?
Bree and Amy.
Bree and Amy out.
Out. Say hi to your cats for us.
Don't get dead.